It feels like there's a little bit of a culture shift here in Sacramento. Does it feel like the guys are approaching things the way that the staff wants them to?
And to be honest with you, I think from my experience, it's been very positive. I don't know how it was before because I wasn't here.
Right.
So I can always say good things about these guys, what we have going on, the way they show up every day to work, and they do what we ask them to do with good energy. So I think on the court that translates. We've competed every single game. Obviously, we want to improve. We want to improve every game. We would like our record probably to be a little bit better at this point, but I think the losses we've been taking are going to help us in the future. And I think the way I see it is, if we probably would replay some of the games, we're in a much better place now. The way we play, the way our groups fight and compete together. So I'm very happy.
And the record might be better if not for a couple of questionable calls by the referees. What was the reaction like among the players and the locker room to what could have been a couple of disheartening losses back to back in the way that they ended?
Yeah, that's probably just frustration. That's how the world of sports is. But, we can control what we can control. And probably if we would have been better ourselves and certain other things, we would have still won the game. There's nothing we can do against that. And I think we approached it the right way. We still, besides the whatever happened at the end that was not called, there's still things before that we could have cleaned up, and we worked on that. And I think that moving forward, that's the only thing that we have to focus on.
Coach, we've seen this team be very resilient early on in the season. Is that something that you guys as a staff felt before the season tipped off, that they would be able to get through some adversity?
Yeah, I think the reality is we had a great August. We had a great summer overall, but August, September, guys were there together. They were willing to spend time with each other and with ourselves, being a new coaching staff. And coach has always been huge on competing in every single thing you do, not just in the games, but also in practices. And right now you can see it. It's a habit. It may not be perfect at all times, but we find a way to fight back and stay in games. And I think that, we still have a lot of work to do and there's a lot of room to improve. But that's the reason why we're so excited here, is because we can see the growth, but most importantly, the ceiling is so high.
Two guys that were added this offseason, Kevin Huerter and Malik Monk, I think have exceeded most Kings fans' expectations and what they can do specifically defensively and with the ball in their hands. Have you guys been surprised at the totality of those two guys' games?
Like you said, the front office did an amazing job bringing those two guys in. Not just that they're really good basketball players, but they're really good dudes, great personalities, and in the NBA season, that's extremely important. Guys that come to work, but also they make it better for everybody else. The group has been great. So those guys, their ability to not just make shots, but also make and hustle. Like, I don't know if you saw Malik's play yesterday, missed a layup, got back, got a shot blocked, and then he made a Kevin got a big tip rebound. He didn't grab the rebound, but tipped it to his teammate. So those type of plays, you remember the shots and all that stuff, but those type of plays are huge, and they've been a big part of what we're trying to do.
Associate head coach of the Kings, Jordi Fernandez, with us. He's on the Folsom Lake Honda hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop. Coach, HB, against the Cavs, he got it going a little bit offensively. Is there anything different about his game when he has it going like that versus some of the nights like against the Warriors where he's very quiet offensively?
I mean, we know HB is a super experienced player and a playoff player. And, like you said, sometimes you find your rhythm, sometimes you don't. But the reality is HB's been so good defensively. I don't know if you remember the Orlando game. He guarded Paolo all that third quarter, and that's when we made the run. And the thing is, if he hasn't felt like his shot was going in, he did other things for the team to help us win. And we know he is a two-way player. And a game like yesterday was awesome for the team and awesome for him. So we trust him. We know who he is, and he's important for these younger guys because he's one of the few guys more experienced. Even though he's young, he's in his I think he's 30, right? If I'm not wrong. So he's a big part as well of who we are and what we want to do in the future.
It looks like Domas is hitting his stride and finding his comfort zone under Mike Brown here the last 4 or 5 games. What's been different in his game?
Just adjusting to what we're trying to do as a team, right? New group, new system on both ends of the floor. He's a leader by example, and he is a physical player. So all those things are positive for our group. He's a great playmaker, a great rebounder, and a scorer. So he impacting the game at 3 levels is very important in the NBA. That's why he is, one of our most important players.
Jordi Fernandez with us here. Just a couple more for you, Coach. Again, thanks for the time. Associate head coach of the Kings. One thing I've noticed, a couple things about Coach Brown. So an example in the Cavs game, Domas gets some early fouls, and a lot of coaches would pull the player in that situation. Coach Brown stuck with him. He did the same thing in the Heat game here at Golden 1 about a week or 2 ago. Also, De'Aaron Fox, Coach waited to put him back in the game against the Cavs until about 2:42 left. Is that just a coach having a feel and building trust with his players and trusting Domas and trusting the other guys on the floor when Fox isn't in there late in a tight game in the fourth quarter? Is that the building of relationships that you guys have to do with the players?
Yeah, I mean, that just shows Coach's experience. He's been in the league for 30 years. He's got a great feel on how this league is played, and he's adjusted throughout all his career. And I think, like you said, having the trust in Domas and also the trust in Fox, giving him enough rest so he could come and make winning plays in those last 2-3 minutes. And obviously also trusting Davion because he was doing so good on Donovan Mitchell. So all those things is, that those are huge. Like, one of your best players gets in foul trouble, you leave him, you trust him, he's fine, he impacts the game. Then you have Davion doing his job, you let him roll a little longer, he's done his job, now you bring your starting point guard and he finishes it. So all those things put together is, his experience it's really good for the group. And right now, we already see results, and the results are going to keep coming if we keep doing things the right way.
Domas gets the headlines and De'Aaron, and we've talked about Monk and Herter, but you look at when things really started to turn around for this team. It's when Trey Lyles started to get minutes. How much of a difference has this guy been in the increased role that he's gotten?
Yeah, Trey is a super pro. I was lucky to work with him in Denver, and now we're here together again. I'm a big Trey Lyles fan. His ability to shoot the ball, to drive closeouts, make plays. He is being also very physical defensively. He came in the Charlotte game and he did a great job on PJ Washington. So all those little things, when you have those type of guys embracing their roles, because I'm pretty sure Trey wants to be a starter, but right now he's embracing his role. He's playing extremely hard, and he's making a big impact on winning. So all these games that we were successful, majority of them, he was a big part of it. So it's just really cool to see how guys, whether you like it or not, you embrace what's best for the team. because we cannot have 15 starters. We cannot have 15 guys scoring 20 points. And, that mentality of sacrificing yourself for the benefit of the team, it's extremely important.
Last one for you, Coach. I want to ask you about Keegan Murray. In the first quarter against the Warriors, he seemed a little hesitant. He was open 3 or 4 times. He didn't take the shot right away. I was wondering, did the staff talk to him at all about that? Because against the Cavaliers, there was no hesitancy from Keegan.
Yeah, I think it's, experience is a big factor in this business. I know he works with Dutch Scaly, and they watch film, obviously, after every game. And, the NBA is very different than Summer League, is very different than college. Having a feel for guarding these guys. And the reality is we're putting him on really good players, and he's a two-way player, right? Like, Keegan is really good offensively.
Yep.
He's going to be a really good defender in this league, but it's not as easy as just watching film, going and doing it. You have to experience it, and all these guys that are great players are coming at you really fast. He's learning, and he's not backing down. He's, like you said, he responded. He's been great for us. He is a huge part of our future. And, he proved it yesterday, like the way he shoots the ball. He put Kevin Love in pick and roll yesterday and made huge shots and rebounded the ball well. So Keegan is just, every single game, he's getting better. And by, mid-season, the player that he will be very different than the player he was in game 2, because he didn't play game 1.
Coach, we really appreciate the time. Associate head coach Jordi Fernandez with us here on Cattles and Rami on Sactown Sports. Get a win against the Lakers, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you so much. Thanks for having me.
All right, so there goes Jordi Fernandez again on the Folsom Lake Honda Hotline. Folsom Lake Honda, your one-stop Honda shop.